All right, guys. So it's 8:30. So we went ahead and I've started the recording. We'll just get this thing rolling. I want to respect everybody's time. Thank you for spending some of your Monday evening with us. Um, this is your weekly Team Panacea call. We do this call every week at 8:30 Central. This is your go-to place to find out what's going on, find out who's doing what works, what doesn't work. We have some guest speakers, and we spend a little bit of time together just kind of learning from each other and staying accountable. Tonight I'm joined by my lovely wife, Cody. Say hello, everyone. What I want to talk to you guys about tonight is reaching out to people and then how to phrase those conversations. But real quick, I want to give a shout out to Justin. I think you got like 6 points already, don't you? Where'd he go?
I think I have 4.
Okay, well, I know, but you finished with 10, right? I thought you
finished with 10.
Yeah, so first month in, that's right. First month in, you had 10 points, and Heath is killing it, and Zeta too. Is it Zeta? Am I saying your name right? No, Zida?
Zeta.
Zita. Okay, Zita. I'm glad that I asked you that because I've been saying it wrong in my head, and when I'm bragging about you to other people all this time. Zita. Okay, but and she's killing it, and he's killing it, and the reason that these people are killing it is because they're killing their workouts, and they're just sharing that with other people. Zita is been pretty fit to begin with, I guess, from the looks of it. But Justin, I haven't seen maybe your best before and after picture, but Justin and Heath have this dramatic difference, and and so people are seeing that, and they're just drawn to that. So that first vital behavior is be proof the products work. So what I want to talk about though now is I want to talk about. I get a lot of questions about me reaching out to customers or me reaching out to leads, because once you make Emerald and you make Success Club, then everybody here. Yes, it's recording. All right, so everybody's muted. You'll have to unmute yourself to talk now. But so honestly, guys, here's what I do is I actually just text people. And so let's say that, I'm going to text Heath because I just got assigned Heath in my back office. And I text him and I say, "Hi, is this Heath?" And that's it. That's the only thing I say to begin with, right? Because what are they going to ask, right? They're going to be curious about who is this? And that's generally what they say is maybe, "Who are you?" Or yes, "Who is this?" And then I tell them, "Hey, my name's Chris. I've been assigned as your free Beach Buddy coach. How are you doing?" And that's it, right? It's about being brief and asking questions. You want to end everything that you have with a question. So they say, "I'm doing good, thanks." And then that's all they've said, right? They didn't ask me how I was or anything like that. So I asked them, "Have you started your program yet? Or are you still trying to decide?" If I don't see which program they have, or, "How are you enjoying your Shakeology?" Or, a question about maybe if they're interested in a sample, depending on what they've bought, I might be able to send it to them. I text people, and if I don't get a text, then I email them. I don't. There are people who actually pick up the phone and call, and I've done that before, but it's really not in my routine right now. But I do text everybody, and what I would tell you guys to do is just set like a 1 day out of the week to go and look at your new customers and do it that day, right? So that you're not scattered throughout the week about when you're doing these things. Because when you look at the bottom of your alerts over there on the left-hand side where it says, you have X number of new coaches in your organization, X number of new customers, and all that stuff, that's a rolling 7 days, right? So if you decide that you're going to do that every Friday, then you'll cover everybody because it's a rolling 7 days. As long as you do it every 7 days, you won't miss anybody. And you reach out to those people and just start that conversation. And my goal in that conversation is to become friends with them on Facebook, right? My goal in every conversation is generally to become friends with them on Facebook, because that's kind of my wheelhouse, right? Because I share what Beachbody has done for us on Facebook. And so at this point, I've got the consistency and the success to where a lot of people come to me. Again, I'll just point out to Justin and Heath, who, I've known these guys, both of them, for years now. Heath for like 20 years. And he's finally come around and said, okay, what are you doing? And, and then Justin, same thing. I mean, I've run 26 miles, walked 26 miles next to Justin. And, it just really didn't ever come up, and until he was ready. And because my message is consistent, he came on board when he was ready, and now he's crushing it. So does that make sense? I message people, I text them, and I Facebook or I'll email them. Another thing that I'll do is I'll try and find them on Facebook using the email address that they sign on with, and or their phone number. Sometimes I'll search by their name and the city that they live in too. And I'll shoot them a message too. I haven't seen it lately. I don't know if Facebook took it away, but you used to be able to pay $1 and you would send that message directly to their inbox. Because if, like, I message Justin and he's not Facebook friends with me, then it goes to the other folder, right? And nobody looks in their other folder. I mean, I bet you if you guys go to your messages and you look in your other folder, you might have some messages there that you're like, oh my gosh, when did I get that? So you used to have the option to pay $1, but last week when I tried it, I couldn't find it. So I don't know if there was just a glitch or I was just having a senior moment or what. But it's worth $1 to me to try and make contact with them on Facebook. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about again is those conversations, right? When I start that conversation, when somebody reaches out to me and they're like, man, I'm really enjoying, following your results with Hammer and Chisel. I'm thinking about doing that. First of all, I tell them thank you, of course, right? Thanks, man. I'm really loving this program. It's really making things easy for me, and it's helping me stay on track. And then I ask them, are you because they've told me, they're thinking about doing it or whatever. So I say, do you have an event that you're trying to get ready for? Are you trying to get in shape? What is it that's got your curiosity up about it? So I've asked that question and I let them answer it, right? And then, I can sympathize with pretty much any answer somebody gives me. And, because I love the program, 99% of the people that I'm talking to, I think that they should love the program too, right? I mean, because every program, you can kind of modify it if you want. You have to take into consideration that, it requires a decent amount of equipment, but I tell people that. But if somebody just comes to me and they say, hey, you know what, I think I need to get in shape. I've seen, that you've lost so much weight. I think I need to get in shape. So they don't come to me telling me that they want a particular program, right? So this is really important. You don't just send them the link. You don't just send them, say, hey, go to my page and look at the 37,000 programs to choose from.
And let me know.
And let me know and get back with me, right? That is absolutely not what you do. What you do is you get to know them a little bit. You probably know them already, but I ask that same question. You got an event you're getting ready for? You're trying to lose weight? You're trying to build some muscle? What's the plan? And so they answer that question, and then I choose 2 programs, and I send them 2 links. And I'm like, these are the 2 that I would recommend. And I let them choose one of those programs, right? And generally it's 21 Day Fix right now, 21 Day Fix or Hammer and Chisel are my 2 go-to programs, right? And so we have that conversation about that. And so they're going to ask questions about, well, will this help me do this? And of course, we all know if you do any of these programs, you're going to get in shape. So the answer is yes, it will help you do that. Okay. And so once I've figured out which program they want, and I get a yes on the program, because when I tell you what else too, when they ask me how much hammer and chisel is, or how much 21-day fix is, for 21-day fix, we'll stay with that. Hey, how much is 21-day fix? It's $140, right? I don't tell them it's $60 or $45 or anything like that. Everybody gets the challenge pack price. So when they make a decision and they choose, okay, 21-day fix, I think that's what I want. So then I'm like, okay, cool. Which flavor of Shakeology do you want? I recommend chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry. Again, I don't give them the whole gambit of, hey, go to Shakeology.com and take a look or anything like that. I give them a couple of choices, those 3 actually. And then I'll tell them, if you're interested in greenberry or something like that, I'll send you a sample. Or you can just tell them you can buy the sample pack and you can try those others on your own. But you can't go wrong with the big 3. So, sometimes they're like, oh, well, I'm not really interested in Shakeology. But honestly, guys, the way that I phrase this conversation, I don't get that very often. I mean, it's just like, oh, okay, because they're like, yeah, I mean, greenberry is my go-to flavor too. But they say, well, I'm not interested in Shakeology. But I'm like, well, it's the same price either way. I mean, $140. I mean, it comes with it. So which flavor do you want to get? And they make that decision. And so I congratulate them on that decision. I do the mobile enroller, or I ask them if they want me to walk them through it. And if I send them the mobile enroller, I ask them how long before they think that they'll be able to do it, right? Because the reason that I'm doing that is because I want to be able to check and make sure that their order went through. If they're signing up as a coach, I need to make sure that they're placed properly. So if I send it to them and they told me they were going to do it by 6 o'clock tonight, and I wake up the next morning and they still haven't done it, then I send them a message that morning and I'm like, hey, I know we're busy, but you said you were going to be able to do this last night at 6 o'clock. I just want to circle back around and make sure there wasn't a problem with your order because I don't see it in my back office, right? So it's, again, me circling back around to them. I'm providing a service to them, right? I'm looking out for them. I want to make sure that their order went properly. It's not about hounding them. It's about making sure that their order went through properly. Does that make sense? Yeah, of course.
Sorry. Hi. One of the things I wanted to add to what I do differently than maybe what Chris does when I talk to people about challenge packs and Shakeology is that when I know what they want to do, I will actually use a teammate's results and send a picture. So if someone tells me that they want to lose 10, 15 pounds and they don't know where to start, I'll post. Christina Broadwell is one that she's on my phone. I think, would you like results like this? And I send Christina's picture. And they go, wow, that's absolutely wonderful. And I said, well, that's one of my teammates. She did the 21-day fix. And I have a couple of you guys. And yeah, when you post them, I save them on my phone and I use them. Just like I hope that you would use Chris's hammer and chisel results or Kim Bickle's 3-day refresh results. You got to show people who you, our team and what we do and how we are a product of the product. And we're not just trying to sell them a product. We can give you results, real results. These are somebody, this is someone I know, and this is what they've done. So I share those pictures, and once they see those pictures, I think we've got an agreement. Oh, that looks really cool. I want to do something like that as well. So I will share a few pictures with people and say, are these the kind of results that you're looking for? Because it's easy to type words. And oftentimes, I'm going to just circle back a little bit to what Chris said about conversations. And I get that when someone hears that the 21-day fix is $140, they may not want Shakeology. I tell them that, okay, well, Shakeology is your best bet for results. This is how I felt when I drank this. I have to relate to that because I knew that when we started Shakeology, a bag it sounded nuts. It sounded just crazy to me that we would spend this much money on this bag, but eventually we were getting 2 bags and it made sense. It didn't make sense not to get Shakeology. So remember to put that value in Shakeology and back it up. Back up why you drink it, not just because your coach told you to and it came in your package. Back it up because it provides you the nutrients. It's a simple red container when you need it to quickly and go. It's just put value in that drink and why it helps you accomplish what you're doing. There was something else that you said. Oh, okay. And then if they still don't want to budge on the challenge pack, I'm going to say this. Okay. If they still don't want to budge on the challenge pack, you still want to help that person. If they can't afford it, just like, okay, what is it that I do for you? I know that you need to lose X pounds, 20 pounds, whatever. Okay, let's put it piece by piece. If the challenge pack doesn't work for you, at least let me get the program in your hand and in my challenge group. And as time goes by, I can't read all that. Help me read that. Okay, hold on. Yeah. That happens a lot. How do I unclick it? Make it go away. Okay, hi. So I will at least put something in their hand. If they can't afford a bag of Shakeology, a sampler pack is the way to go, because you know what? You guys may not have a green berry to share with somebody, and it's available. It's for $30. They can get a whole week. Challenge them to drink Shakeology for a week and get the sampler pack. Get something in their hand. And if they can't budge, then you know what? You offer some free advice and you check in with them. I had a lady yesterday message me and say, I had a coworker go to the doctor and she ended up getting some 21-day diet pills. Can you tell me what your fix is about? And I said, well, the first thing I have to clarify is that my 21-day fix isn't diet pills. It's a workout program. It's portion control eating. And, I explained that it's not processed food, and you just eat regular foods. And after she watched all that, she says, well, I think I can do it on my own. I was like, well, wait, tell me how much are you wanting to lose in 21 days? Because people always come back with what I can do. I know I have to do this, but I can do it by myself. I'll just eat healthy, she called healthy vegetables opposed to your unhealthy vegetables. I'll eat healthy vegetables and I'll just go to the gym. It's like, great. I'm backing you all the way. But in 21 days, I'm going to reach back out to her and not to go, ha, but just to say, hey, how are you doing? Are you ready to check out what I'm doing? Because, she may have seen what we're doing on Facebook and she's curious, but she wants to take it on her own. I know she's not ready to take that plunge. And I just still think that no matter, you just meet somebody where they are. But absolutely, you go with the challenge pack because we know that that's the best thing. I always say a challenge pack is the best bang for your buck. I always say that when people ask me what's the cheapest way I can do this. Okay, well, the cheapest way you can do this is with the challenge pack. You're going to get your workout program and a bag of Shakeology. And if you want to get to, I don't even bring up coaching, you know when the time is to do that or not. But the thing is, you just need to get someone started on their workout. So, that's the cheapest way you can do it. You want to go? I don't remember what it was.
Okay, so what I thought I would do is actually read y'all a conversation that I had that basically, started and finished in the same evening, where it ended up with a challenge pack sell. Do you think that would be helpful to some of you? Okay, so let me find this. Okay, let me come back over here. So let's see, I'm gonna make this smaller. I'll make that go away. I'm gonna minimize Andrew Wiley's question where he's asking me for tech help. You just meet me, man. I don't know how to do that. Let's see. We get up here to the top. Well, we talked a lot, but okay. I may not read all of this. I should have thought about this because okay, so this is a girl that her mom was actually a coach on our team like 4 years ago, right? And so somehow or another we ended up Facebook friends. And so, you know, she tells me that, you know, I'm like, hey, hello, young lady. How are you? Are you a coach? Right? That's the first thing I ask because she's been liking a lot of my stuff. Are you a coach? No, my mom used to be. And I think that's how we became friends. Why? Okay. Why isn't she a coach anymore? Who's your mom? So she tells me, and I'm like, okay, I remember them. And so a little bit of small talk here. And she says that, you know, that she says, hey, is Shakeology gluten-free? I have celiac and I'm wondering. And I tell her yes, you know, and I don't mess with, it's not labeled gluten-free because they make other things with gluten in there, but you know, so that it's not on there, but it's gluten-free. And she's like, that's awesome. And I'm like, I'd be happy to help you achieve some goals. She's like, ha, thanks. I'm still trying to figure out what my goals are. I've tried the workout videos, but I live in an upstairs apartment, so I always get worried I'm being too loud. So my reply, and I hear that a lot, right? There are 30-minute workouts. Plenty of people live upstairs and still make it work. People who live upstairs deserve to be healthy too. She's like, haha, that's true. I have a bad ankle, you know, and I'm pretty nervous about jumping. How could you help me reach the goals? By setting them with you and explaining that people with wacky ankles who live upstairs still need to get in better shape so they live longer and healthier lives. And that we would find a way. Something's better than nothing. And she's like, yeah, but aren't you like super busy? Yeah, but helping people is what I do. This is how I earn my living. She's like, I could be interested. I mean, I am trying to lose weight. How much? Oh, goodness, I'm like the shyest person ever. Okay, well, I'll help you alone because I told them that we have a community. She's like, haha, really? Yes, if that's what you want, it can just be you and me, or I can put you in a challenge group. And then she talks about, you know, problems in high school and yada, yada, yada. That's not really important for me to share. And so I say, I understand. How much weight do you want to lose? Ideally, for you, how much weight do you want to lose? If I lose 10 or 20 pounds, I'd be happy. That's a good start. I've already lost 2.5 pounds this year. Awesome. We can absolutely help you lose 10 to 20 pounds. I'm a big guy, but I've lost 20 pounds in 7 weeks with my program. You sound so certain. I have about 20 more to go. I am certain. I've helped many other people. If you do this, it will work. And this is when I sent some of the before and afters, like Cody's talking about, right? Okay, if I wanted to do this, what would I have to do? We would pick a flavor, and I would recommend 21-day fix, right? I've already got the program for her, right? I'm not about making her do a bunch of choices. We would pick a start date and how much of a hard ass you want me to be, and then we would go from there. It's a 21-day program with a 30-day money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose except for 10 or 20 pounds. She's like, man, you really think I could lose that weight in 21 pounds? Seems unrealistic. I said, I'm fairly certain you can lose 10 pounds in 21 days. I've seen this many times. Show her a couple of more pictures. What does the 21-day fix involve? I send her the link. Couple more pictures. Let's see. In fact, I see Zeta's picture and Liz Gomez's picture. So thanks, ladies. Okay. Ha. How expensive is it? I'm a full-time college student and work full-time, so far I'm convinced it just depends on price. So here's the difference. How much would it be worth to you to accomplish this goal? Right? She's like, that's a good question. I don't know. And I was like, and of course the idea would be for you to earn money too. Now I'm throwing coaching in if you want, because it's the same price either way. I can't be a coach if that's what you're saying. I don't know anyone. And I was like, it's the same price either way. I can help you with that too. It's just whatever you want to do. I hear that all the time, not knowing anyone, almost as often as I hear I live in an upstairs apartment and I have a bad knee or ankle. But I'm such a homebody. Look, I never leave my house. It's all on Facebook. So then she says something that doesn't really matter. So I bring it back around, right? Okay, seriously, how much would you pay to accomplish this? I don't know. I'd have to check my bank account and see. I'd be okay with spending around 100. I don't know if I could justify more. We're not rich. And I was like, um, she's like, okay, well, 21-day fix looks good. How much is it? It's 140, right? She never did really get around to telling me how much it was worth to her. But so I tell her it's 140. Huh, that's okay. I'd have to consider that. It sounds legit. So 140 for everything I need. And then she says, how much more is it for Shakeology? Because isn't that expensive? Bam, got her, right? Because she's paying $140 for 21-day fix. And I'm like, no, that's with Shakeology, you know? So see, I'm like, which flavor do you want? She goes, probably vanilla. How much is Shakeology though? Still 120? No, it's 140 for the workout and Shakeology. Wait, really? Yes. That seems like a really great deal. What's the catch? Nothing. You know, change your life, lose some weight, feel better, routine stuff. She's like, that's it? You don't want my sole or firstborn child? No. You know, well, you name your firstborn kid Chris and I'll give you $10. And so then I send her the link, you know, okay, so vanilla, she says vanilla. So I say vanilla and 21-day fix, what's your email? She gives me her email. I was like, okay, why? I was like, are you making me commit? I was like, yeah, I can't make you do anything, but I did hear you say you want to lose 10 or 20 pounds and $140 is like a too good to be true deal. So I'm not sure what else we're waiting for. She's like, that's true. Gosh, it's crazy how certain you sound because I've done it so many times and so many other people on our team have too. And she sends me a whole bunch of emojis for some reason and says, how long will it take to get here? And I said, 5 to 7 days. And she says, okay, I'm in, and completed the link. And now she's in our challenge group and actually posting, and she's like on day 3 and super excited. In fact, the message sent to me today is, this morning, hey, how was your weekend? It was good. I'm really sore from the first day of working out. During the week, I'm a lot busier. Brooke, it was all in one night. Okay, so that first message was, it was just through the day. I mean, I think the last message was like around 9:30, but the first one started around 10. And she says, hey, can I use salt? And I was like, yeah, a little, just not on French fries. And so that's where we're going. Does that make sense? That it provide any insight or helpful at all? I hope. It's about being confident and about offering solutions that that'll work for them. And that they'll work for them is because you're doing it yourself and other people on the team are doing it too. Okay, so I'm going to close with that, but I'll open it up for questions because it's getting up on 9 o'clock. So if you have something that you want to ask, unmute yourself and say, and then ask your question.
I don't have a question, but can I just make a plug here? Since you are my coach and you have helped me many times with ghosting conversations and three-way messages, I offer to my coaches all the time, I'm willing to do a three-way message. I'm willing to do, to ghost conversations with you. So let me know what your customers are saying to you because Chris has been doing this a lot longer than I have. And I mean, still to this day, I will ask him for help on some things with what people are telling me, with objections, whatever. And, I learned so much because he invited me, or he always said, hey, just throw me in your conversation or get me on the phone with this person. And the point of that, was so that I could learn from him. And so I highly, highly recommend that you take advantage of, your coach, hopefully they're offering you the same thing, and, get in on a 3-way message or a call or ghosting with your coach, because if they've been doing it longer than you, then they have that confidence. They've heard more objections than you have, and they know what to say. So I just wanted to throw that in there because, obviously Chris is pretty good at what he does. So I still listen to him.
Thanks. Yeah, so ghosting a conversation, for those of you who don't know, is where Justin's talking to somebody and they throw him a curveball question or something like that, and he screenshots the question and sends it to me and says, hey, how do I answer this? And I answer it, and I say, make that your own, and he answers it. And then he screenshots their reply, and he's like, this is what they said. What now? So it's actually like I'm guiding the conversation without actually being in it, right? So I don't know if we made that up, but we call it ghosting the conversation. And the other thing that she's talking about is just a basic 3-way conversation. You want to make sure that you get permission from people before you throw somebody else into the conversation, though, right? Because that seems like, some people might seem like you're ganging up on them, or, calling in reinforcements, or, like if you're buying a car and they bring in the manager, to make you see how great a deal it is. So that's not what you're trying to do. What you want to do is, when somebody asks you a question, even if you think you know the answer to the question, if you want help in the conversation, you're like, man, that's a really good question. But I'm not sure, and I'm actually still learning, but my coach, I'm sure they know the answer to the question. Would it be cool if I brought them into the conversation so that you get the right information, and you'd actually be doing me a solid because I'm still trying to figure this out? And, generally they're like, sure, and then you bring that person in, and, it's not a hard sell, right? We don't twist people's arms. But we show them that it's a team effort and that we're here to help each other.
Sorry, I know you guys were wrapping up, but I just thought of one more thing I want to add, something very that I come across a lot, is that make sure that when you do have a price adjustment on a challenge pack, make sure that the person knows that the challenge pack is not $140 every month. Make sure that they understand that the challenge pack they're getting for the 21-day fix is everything they need, plus 9 more days of Shakeology to finish the program for 30 days. They are not married to Shakeology. They're not married to the club membership. All they need to do is get a hold of the 21-day fix challenge pack and complete it. And one of the things I say to people when I'm explaining that all they need to do to get started is get the 21-day fix challenge pack and their Shakeology, I'll say in about 2 weeks, I'm going to check and make sure that you want that second bag shipped out. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but trust me, I'm going to make sure that you want to continue Shakeology. And if then you want to get it at my price and talk about the discount, we'll talk about it. But for right now, the only thing you need to worry about is a challenge pack and how I can get you $2 shipping. Does that sound cool? Everything I say is, does that sound cool? Because I'm guiding them along, because it sounds great to me. I've already experienced it, and I've walked a lot of people through it. I'm going to do them the same way. So that's just one of the things that I make sure that they understand, is that they're not married to it, that this is what they need to do for the next 21 days. So that, and then now I got to go do my Pilates fix. I hate that one. It's hard. But gotta go.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for stopping by.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's a good point. And actually, it goes, the conversation that I read you, the next day, after she messaged me and said, hey, I did that. So, she's like, so how do I cancel next month's Shakeology and club membership? And, I've already got the 2 points. This sounds weird, but I've already got the 2 points, right? So I'm not going to fight that battle there, because if I help her cancel it, and, I still check back with her in 2 weeks, and I'm like, hey, I'm sure that you're loving Shakeology and yada, yada, yada. It's just as easy to set it back up again too. Does that make sense? So, all right. Any other questions?
I have a question, Chris, about training new coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm apparently going into overdrive when I train my new coaches and taking way too much time going over the whole business quick start. What would you recommend is the top things that I share on my first call with a new coach?
So you know what I would do, and you know, this is one of those things where some of my personally sponsored people will be like, you don't do that. But here's what I should do, right? Is I did make like the 7 videos, you know, and I send those to people now. I just made them, and I've only signed like 3 people. Hopefully none of them are on this call because I might be behind. But you know, and they're on the Team Panacea page. Actually, even you can use my videos. I don't care. And it's labeled like day 1 through 6 or day 1 through 7. But what I would do is I would tell them, hey, you know, over the next 3 days, I need you to watch these videos 1 through 3 and do what, you know, I say or Chris says in them. And after you've done that, message me back so we can set up your getting started right call, right? And if they don't do that, then they don't get a call. Then, you know, if they're not going to watch 3 2-minute videos, then you don't need to spend an hour on the phone listening to them, you know, run their suck about how they're going to change their life, because they're not, because they don't, not even going to watch the 2-minute video. So, I mean, you know, it's really important to value your time, and, you know, to really value their time too. And I just tell them, you know, like when somebody comes in and they're like, man, I'm going to crush this thing, you know, but I'm not getting Shakeology. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. You're not signing up with me. You know, you can sign up with somebody else. I mean, now that the performance pack is out, I may not say exactly that, but, you know, Success Club is important. And if you're not getting 90 points on Home Direct every month, then you're not making Success Club. And you're not serious about this business if you're not making Success Club, in my very frank and maybe not so humble opinion. You know, some people get offended and they're like, dude, I am serious, but, you know, I only make like 1 point a month. Yeah, you're not serious. You know, you're not talking to enough people.
Those 7 videos, are those in the pinned post?
No, I haven't even done that yet. If you go to youtube.com/Team Panacea, you know, I've tried to start uploading a lot of the videos that I post into the team page, to the Team Panacea page. And, you know, and I tell you, here's one of the things, you've seen me post it before a lot. You know, I've got these things saved on the notes section on my phone, right? Somebody said save them in Evernote, and that's even a better idea because, you know, I was tracking the team growth and somehow or another deleted that note. So now I got to start over at 4,000, and that sucks because it, you know, I had it all the way down to the low 200s as far as what date we were at. But anyway, save these things, right? Cody today, she asked me, she's like, hey, will you come over here and explain to this person why it's important to sign up a spouse? And I said, no, but you can send them one of the 3 videos that I've made on how come that's important. And I would actually suggest that perhaps you save that to your phone so that the next time somebody asks, you can just send them that link too. So, you know, I mean, that's something that all of you guys can do, right? If you answer the same question more than twice, then you should copy your answer and paste it in Evernote or somewhere else, to where the next time you get asked that question, you can just copy and paste it back to them instead of answering the same question over and over and over again. Okay, it's about working much more efficiently, and that's a big way to do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. What else? Did you guys see that I went skiing with Tony Horton? That was pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool too. You know what? Because I think you know, if you're not friends with Joan, you might have seen that. You know, Ryan is a big Tony Horton fan, Ryan Crocker, and you know, and Ryan went on this ski trip with us, and he said before, in passing or just whatever, sitting around, because Ryan's a big skier too, and he's like, dude, I know Tony Horton skis, and, you know, it's like on my bucket list to one day ski with Tony Horton. And you know, and we're out there in Wyoming, and you know, one of the coaches is really good friends with Tony, and we know that he lives out there in February. So, we messaged him, and now, he invited us to go helicopter skiing with him later this year, but I don't think I'm doing that. That's not practical use of my money at this point yet. But that's pretty cool. And that's a freaking making dreams come true. Ryan Crocker gets to freaking ski with Tony Horton. And then later, we ate lunch with Tony. And then Ryan is Tony's workout partner after we toured his house. And then we go to dinner with him. And, Ryan's like for the rest of the trip, and that's pretty cool that I get to play a little part in that, So anyway, I just wanted to brag about that for a minute. Yes, Christina.
Okay. Since there's a lot of new people on there and on here, when the part you said about like sending 2 videos that you think might be good for them, as someone who felt she had to learn everything before I would talk to too many people, I want to encourage everyone to utilize the team page and just say, hey, I've got this person who wants to build muscle, and someone in the group will know what program would be good to recommend. So don't think you have to know everything when you're starting out.
Yeah, that's a perfect, we add 100 coaches a week to the team, right? Now, because we have all of these other teams underneath the Panacea umbrella now, they don't all make it into Team Pan, but, whatever question you got, you can ask it in the team page. But I'll tell you also, if it's something specific like about a disease or gluten-free or breastfeeding, use the search tab, right? Because like every week somebody's like, hey, can you drink Shakeology if you're breastfeeding? And every week somebody answers that question, or if somebody's more on the ball, they just tag the person in last week's thread, because it really comes up like every, that and celiac disease and fibromyalgia. We get those questions every 10 days. Okay. All right. One more question before Lauren goes to sleep. Okay. So nothing else. So everybody's on a team cup, right? If you should be on a team cup, you should be rocking it. Our team cup is currently ranked 181 out of, X number of thousands, like, 11 to 12,000 teams. So go 4 carats and a diamond. I think everybody's got points so far. And it's very cool. Congratulations, guys. And let's keep rocking it. And I will see you on the boards.